Ladies and gents, good evening. Welcome to Question Time Live, episode 137. How are you all doing? Hope you are well. Oh, I've been well into them ponds this week so far, getting organised. Shipments, all inbound still at the minute though, mind. Wow. But I think as a current standing, I might have 2 empty ponds. It was almost 3. Bit of a snap decision I nearly made earlier, but I've gone against it. Yeah, there we go. The magic that is. And we've had that spring sunshine back today as well. Maybe not everywhere. I know we had a collection earlier, and they said it's terrible what they'd driven through. So who knows? But ultimately, yes. It's been here. It's been lovely, fantastic in the greenhouses when I've been sorting through today. So yesterday was my Saito metallic fish. I get mixed up. Deutsch Kajaku, Beniki Kukuryu, Deutsche Matanishki. Very interesting. Oh, and Deutsch Kinshowa. Fantastic, super interesting mix of fish, that one. And then today I've done the Saito Goshki and Ginrin Goshki, which I am loving them. I'm very excited for them. Love them from him anyway, but I only had a handful last year. I've had everything he had this year. And yeah, I think overall the quality has been always there with them, but the pattern level is the bit that's probably impressed me the most out of them. So that's cool. And then finished off the day down in the Sakai pond, getting sorted out. Finishing that off, which has led me to where I'm at. There's 8 fish sat there that I'm going to photograph tomorrow, which are going to be for my very last Sakai Nisai auction for a little while, because it will be the last of them, except for, and they'll never be for auction, I've got my 10 super stash, and fucking hell, I tell you, that was quite something. So yeah, they're apart from those, you ain't ever going to see them in an auction. Not a fucking chance I'd be risking that one. So there we go. And I've literally just scrambled in here now, moving the last of those. So dreamy results. Just reminds you every time what a farm that really is. So I'll share a couple of bits of videos with you today. I've not pinged them over yet. I'll grab them in a minute, because I've also got an epic prize competition running that is for the Dainichi Orange Monkey. The thing is insane. It's the most insane color of orange I've seen in a koi ever. And yeah, you can get yourself that. It's a £5 a go, and there's even some bulk ticket options on it. So I'll get a bit more detail on that in a little while. That is running on the WhatsApp groups. What I should have done is posted a link in the description, and I didn't. So you never know. I might be able to fathom that one out after. So while I waffle shit for a little while longer, you might want to start loading up some questions for me, because it wouldn't be much of a question time live with me just sat here waffling shite. Although some might argue that's all I do for an hour. Who knows? Yeah, let me get a video. Let's kick off with a bit of. Now you know what I'm like with my stash. I don't often show it all, but. Oh, this one shower. I've known this is absolute top of the top for quite a while, and for it to actually be female as well is a rarity. Trust me, it doesn't happen like that very often. So I did video this one because it is just all out filth. Just transferring that over now. We can have a little look at that one. See what tomorrow brings. I'm not sure what I'm on with. My Saito Kohaku pond is so desperate for splitting, but I just can't do it yet. There's nowhere for them to go. Oh, I harvested the DK Shiro grow out fish. They're all out. That was a hell of a result. There was a few fish there yesterday. In fact, overall, for what they were, I think were they about 150 quid, 195 quid, I can't remember. It's ended up being just superb value for money, in my humble opinion. But a couple, in fact, more than a couple, there was at least 10 fish there. I was like, oh, one. I mean, it was so well selected. So well selected, I'm not afraid to admit it, I missed it. 100% when that was younger, I was not seeing where that has just headed. And I'm pretty fuming about it, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Right, video. Fish born. I should do one of them parental advisory warnings for this or something like that, honestly. Warning, absolute filth coming up. Look at this. I turned me waffle off. Here we go. There it is. Why has it started all the way there? So this 2 years, just about touching 50 centimeters. Sakai scorpion shower. And you just know when you've got Benny that's that hue on a female fish, soon I'll just look at it. Just look at it. Oh, dearie me. Ain't that dreamy? Picture that next year at Nisai. Because it is just so easy. It was actually sort of the point I was making on the video, was how easy it is for me to just imagine that step. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind, with another 12-month growing period, that is getting to 65 cm. And all this year's results of Nisai are just pretty much reinforcing it. And I don't want to ruin the video when it does make its way onto the channel. But to prove the point, so that shower there started off in the 15 to 17 centimeter batch, and that was about April last year. So it's done fantastically well from there, very much in line with indoor Sakai sizes and rates at the same starting size and time. So that's the Nisai. And then this is actually a customer fish I've been growing through to Nisai. And you just see the jump. Like I said, it's sat about 65 centimeters. It's a proper Sakai fish, that as well. Ain't it savage? Just pull it back. I forgot I got a Sankey as well. So you just start picturing that shower pumped up to that size with that body materializing, and it looks like it's got the bone structure for it as well. There's this Sankey I went after here, one-handed. Same thing. It's customer fish is grown through to 3 year. This is just one of the most dreamy Sankeys as well. Honestly, look, the pattern looks like it's been drawn on. Same thing. Just picture that shower, that point, that volume. Oh, ain't it exciting? It really is. It really is. Yes. Yeah, absolutely superb. Right. I suppose we should start with some questions now, shouldn't we? And I can't see that many in here. I think we're genuinely getting to the point where I'm gonna have to have a week or so off, just to let it all build back up. But anyway, Sakai stuff, amazing, dreamy, banging. I think as well, I'm going to end up calling time on my golden corn a little bit sooner than I was anticipating. I'm not filled the feeder up this week. I'm going to let it run out, and when it has, I'm going to call it on those, because I think I need to create the space. It's all right pushing. Realistically, what's two more? Probably two more. It is pretty much 2 more weeks going to do. Probably not all that much. So they're there. If we've hit the 60 cm challenge, I think there's going to be 1 or 2, and the rest damn close. But my God, they look fabulous. So Right, I'll start from the top, and feel free to start firing it up. Carl got in here early, didn't he? Hi, Ricky. I bowled up a few of my fish this week, and I found that my Shinoda Heliosaurus only grown 8 cm compared to 14 to 18 cm that others have grown. This fish is a very timid feeder. Followed on by, is there anything I can do to try and help this fish grow this season? Yeah, unfortunately, Carlo, it's not really practical. Timid feeder, obviously fish outgrowing it. Like, this is just the competition of a mixed pond and one of the harsh realities of it. So I think all you can do realistically would be some level of isolation for that fish. If it was me, I'd be probably moving it to another pond with a similar size of fish in order for it to better compete and start building up the size to be more competitive. So, I mean, you could, I'm not a big advocate of this. Sinking food can be dangerous. I've said it before, if used incorrectly. But, you know, maybe some sinking pellets or something like that mixed in. But like I say, I think, you know, sinking pellet overall is more of a professional food where there's really intense monitoring on it, because it can quickly go wrong and pollute your system. And even I've been on the end of that one. So, yeah, unfortunately, mate, I think it's just probably a reality of having that mixed environment and being unable to cater for individual fish's needs, if you like. But I think a different environment where it's less competitive is probably the best chance it's got. Russell, is it detrimental to koi to be kept at 18 degrees through winter? I did it this year and it was my first season. I wanted to hit the ground running for this season. Should I avoid this going forward? No, Russell, I see no issues with that whatsoever. I think the big thing this is, if you're lining it up with nature, if I was from a koi breeder mentality, absolutely, you know, there's issues there, because the koi need to feel the seasons, because you need to feel the seasonal triggers properly. Well, that's not the case. And actually, from a hobbyist perspective and a mixed pond perspective, where you probably don't want you know, natural spawning occurring as well, this is all things that really work in your favor as well. So no issues for me with that one. I think the big thing here is not misinterpreting keep the temperatures you keep at and the feeding, because, you know, keeping them cooked up at say 22, 24 on heavy food 12 months of the year, and I mean heavy food, is not ideal for them. It's more that bit, allowing a bit of rest. And now I'm probably going to dive into this more at some point. I have done it a lot this year, as I'm obviously got full control of the environment, especially with the bigger fish. Now setting my mind out, because my mind's even been instilled with this, you know, the Japanese growing season released in the mud pond. It's like a 5-6 month period, whereas that's just not reality with concrete raising. I've got a 12-month period. In fact, I've got a continuous period. But if I take it in any block, it's a block of 12 months year to year, what we do with it. And that's basically how the program is now getting stretched out for me with the big fish. Certainly knowing as well I have to deal with the highs of summer, which are actually counterproductive to the growth on them. Can't get the food down them enough because they won't eat enough. When my water's in 28, 30 degrees, the peaks, yes, I can keep them ticking over, but it's not the peak optimal time for growing them fish. That comes as that tail tapers off, and I can get control of the temperature, and often fluctuating between a couple now as well. So yeah, no issues with me for me with that, Russell. It's more, say, the 12-month pattern and making sure you're not just ploughing food at them at high temperatures all that time, because that isn't going to be good for them. It's probably going to be detrimental to their quality and health long term. But just the temperature, and even down at 18, I mean, it's not intense. It's actually a great all-round temperature for conditioning. So yeah, spot on, I would say. Good evening. Good evening. I shouldn't have told me that, Chris. You should not have told me that. I'm going to get them loaded up now, pal. I'm going to break you, mate. I know you've been doing really, really well, but I'm going to break you. Yes, very, very well. Very spontaneous on Sunday at the unit to tie in with something that went wrong, something I had planned. Great to see some faces as well. I think nice for those who came to see what I would call some of my finest work there on display and in the flesh as well. It's very different to seeing them three-dimensional than just through the camera. Chris, evening. Love those fish for growing in Japan. Very tempted it gets over a full pond home for one season. Yes, Chris, for one season, as does the growing here, mate, as well. But he's referring to two Taniguchi fish I listed last night, which are also being entered into the show. Just phenomenal. It's two that I actually got in my trip in December. They've grown so well, already developed so well. Just I love that farm. I really, really do rate it in my absolute top tier. Yes, it was Ray, and very nice of you to turn up. Appreciate that. All right, Kapal, good to meet you Sunday. And yourself, what's your favourite breeder for each of the three Go Sankey and why? Can only pick one for each. I mean, fucking hell, Tom. What, 7:15 on a Wednesday night? That's just not kind, pal. I love these ones. You're gonna have to give me a minute. I'm gonna have a drink. Ah, just one. Fuck's sake. I mean, how boring would it be if you were limited to one? I actually, on a side note, while this bird's away in the background, I think this is actually the interesting and the real unique aspect of Japanese koi in particular, in that when it comes to like Go Sankey, it's not just a case of a kohaku. There's all these different breeders with different traits and bloodlines and characteristics that within a collection you can get something for one of those unique attributes. Not just a case of, right, I'm building a collection, right, I've got my kohaku now. That's not how it is. That they've all got so much, something different to offer. And they really have when you look amongst it. I mean, it does take a well-trained eye, but I still think, you line a lot of them things up together. And it's certainly if each breeder chose what they would consider a prime textbook example of one of their fish, and you can go picking them out with body characteristics, belly characteristics, shiroji characteristics, you name it. It can be done with enough practice. So they're distinct enough. I would say not. I mean, I wasn't alive at that point, but from what I've read of and been told as well, back in the day, the beginning when it was just a handful of prominent bloodlines, the Dainichi, the Sudazo, the Tomoin, you name it, they were ultra distinctive. You could spot them things a mile away. But I mean, you could spot a Matsunoski body an absolute mile away, or something Matsunoski inspired. It's very, very clear, and like the Sakai body as well. So, but back to it. I've deferred away from that one enough, Tom, haven't I? Sakai. You'd be a fucking lunatic to say otherwise. Fucking Showa, you bastard. Dainichi Toyota. Yeah. Kohaku, Dainichi Toyota. That's it. There we go. Straight off the bat. That could change. Right now, there's more of it, but I would be wrong to say otherwise, given my love and admiration for the farm as a whole, and those two varieties being the prominent ones, and where I physically have most of my examples of those varieties as well. So there we go. Got that one, Tom. Cheers for that absolute shitter of a question, pal. Love them ones. Good evening. Oh, bastard. I actually know. Great. It's one at Tropical Fish Shops. I bought quite a few bits off him as well. Love it. And when I saw it, I was like, fair play. Absolutely love that one. Good to meet you today, Ricky. Fish all settled in. Good. Fantastic quality. Can't wait to see how they progress. Absolute pleasure, Andy. Glad you are happy with them. Evening, Ricky. Evening, all. What would you say is the most unique koi that you've ever selected that would have been a bonkers selection in other people's eyes at that time? Fuck it. What's going on tonight? Absolutely racking me. Oh, there's been so many, aren't there? Bonkers. I mean, I presume we're meaning bonkers selection in the sense of somebody thought, "What the freaking hell are you doing?" That's a toughie. I'm going to say, because it's relevant to you, Marie, as well, I'm going to say I think a real part of this, and I know at the time, the Metallica Saggies were actually one. 100% they were, because they just looked nothing. They looked nothing for so long, and now all of a sudden, I think people starting to see it. And as I've grown them through, and they've got bigger, and some of the characters shown, and I mean, it proved at the weekend. You know, I took a couple. They were both snapped up as well on Sunday. So I think, without stretching me to go back too far, that one really does make sense. I mean, there's been bonkers selection. There's been plenty of fish I've picked at some point where a few people have doubted, and it's come good. But that's generally probably in the Go Sankey realms and stuff like that. But as a variety and most unique, I wouldn't say they're the most unique either, but it's a scenario there that does spring to mind. Yeah. Anyway, something more might hit me as we go on, but that's what I've got for you with that one right now. Brian, just coming out of winter and pond filtration not on yet. Brian, I hope you mean as in not woken up. Should definitely be on. Ammonia and nitrite are 0, but I noticed slight pink skin on the shear. Sorry, I added some salt today. Any other suggestions? 10 is 13. With that case, with the pinkness there, I would 100% recommend a mucus biopsy to have a check in and see if it's something parasitic. Salt might help with it. It might just be the process of warming up. It can be if it's been very cold. You can get natural stress from that. When it starts to warm up as well, you get that. But I would 100% look in there for parasites. We're in that kind of fluctuating temperature, the band at the minute, where that kind of shit can really start to kick off. Hi, Andy. What are you most excited for this year? Right now, I am most excited for what we are working on behind the scenes and getting it launched and out there. And this is in regards to the platform, as I keep referring it to. I'm getting to use it now quite a bit on a daily basis from the kind of back end of it, and seeing obviously what it's developing at absolute pace behind the scenes. And given kind of how long I've wanted to achieve this in one format or another, even when it's been on the wholesale side, you know, I was always coming up with ideas, doing things, had plans, had ideas, but it's having the people and the ability to execute on it, and it making sense, and possibly even being a bit too early to market with some of it as well. So I think for me, it's that, because I think it's going to be a game changer all round for us operationally and for the whole experience, and just moving forwards. It really does mean a lot to me in where we got to and what we're building, and I'm incredibly excited for it. So yeah, there's a few other things as well, but I think if you right now you ask me, that's 100% where I'm at, and it's just a joy. Before the Sakai fishing coming on here, I just jumped in on the meeting with the guys, Chris and Dan, working away, and seeing all the shipping module come to life. And yeah, it's I'm loving it. I can't wait for you guys to get to see it all as well. Hi Ricky, I had a problem with 2 Tamasaba, both stuck on the bottom of the pond. I put them in a large tank with salt. We're up to 24 degrees. One has recovered, the other nothing else I can do. Now you've done the best thing for them there. Maybe just a little bit more time, and keep your fingers crossed. Yes, sorry, it was very, very impromptu. It was just lucky that I had a couple of ponds of fish that we could kind of get sorted for it to make a bit of something happen. So 100% evening. So any update keeping for show this year? Yeah, I'm going to get an announcement out soon on what we've rejigged it to. The fish are still happily, they're down there at 22 degrees, being fed quite heavily at the moment, just pushed on a bit, while because ultimately it was a keeping service as well. So we're doing the keeping part of it, right now until we get thrown together. But all intention of, I think our rejig format does. I was saying it to someone at weekend, with all the will in the world, I think the idea is there 100%. It was just the execution we got badly wrong at that moment. And as it reality come together, I'm like, oh fuck, this is going to be chaos. So better to stop. But I think, what we're coming back with is going to be perfect, and we will be on with that over the course of this year for sure. Hi Ricky, you mentioned a Hoshkin Koraku that lost its Benny a few weeks ago. It was only actually a tiny bit on its head, but enough to ruin it for me. What happens to the koi now? Is it still yours? Does it get shipped to the UK, or is it not worth the cost? Oh, it's worth the cost. It's probably me. It's hard when you see that, knowing the sums of money involved for the fish. It's quite a tough one to swallow. So for me, I'm looking at that right now, and it's still there. It's still mine. I could, once I know, I need to check in again, obviously make sure it is well. But it could be sold, but I won't. Will I? I don't know if I'd pay this. I was too pissed off at the time, thinking I'm not even paying fucking shipping for that. But that's probably me beating down on it too much, because bar that bit of the head, the rest of the thing is freaking exceptional and would no doubt be a serious dream koi for somebody. So in all reality, yes, probably will ship it home. Now I'm a bit more, well, is what it is now, and it's done. But yeah, given where it's at, just weighing up, because it's such a big fish, it is genuinely weighing up at that point. If I can get back the shipping costs, that's a reality with it, and hence why I was in that kind of mindset. Because, and I'm talking here, I mean, we're talking a fish that if it was prime, where you're over 5 figures, you're well into 5 figures properly, and it's just not there now, and I'm talking costs in that. So the loss is going to be substantial anyway. Do I want to then ship it? Is it worth? Is someone in the UK market willing to pay, I don't know, by the time I've shipped it, 1,500 quid even to make it worth the while? Maybe. I'll have to get a video of it and see. Maybe I'll do something in Japan, and if it gets snapped up and then the shipping cost isn't my problem, we'll do it. But that's just the genuine decisions and things I have to accept when you're doing, you're in that area of the business. Unfortunately, it happens. They're all a gamble. Any idea what I can use after an Ultra Bead 60 inherited? Oh, no sieve before it pump. I'm not even going to go there with that one, buddy, because there's no way I would be running an Ultra Bead 60 without pre-filtering it. Not a chance. Yeah, I'm gonna leave my advice there is don't do it. I think you are ready for disaster, unfortunately. Evening. Yes, we will. There's plenty mapped out. The next one's likely going to be the collection event, and as soon as this next drop of the system is there, when shipping and all that stuff can be arranged, we're going to set the date for that one so people can get it in their calendars. It's progressing, Johnny. Don't worry. There in the background now, that one. Okay, moving on. Brian, I'm still in this. I can't remember what that's still too cold to fire up film. Oh, of course. There you go. Makes more sense. Extreme weather. Yes, get it now, Brian. Fair play. If I was into Sankey, would I on the Beko front? I don't know. You see, it all actually depends on space, and this is literally the problem. because like with my Miss Toyota spawn last year, we're looking at Benigoy, for example, which I could have kept a lot of. I just couldn't practically do it because they needed to come out of the mud pond at that point, and I had nowhere to hold them. And it probably would have been just 2 boxes worth. I can't just ship 2 boxes either. Excuse me. So that's it's practicalities sometimes as to why that does or doesn't happen. And obviously the mud pond being a finite resource, it's wanting the absolute most for the best fish, which is often why they don't get kept. So if I had a way of moving such things and not affecting the performance of what I was trying to achieve, then yes, 100%. And am I looking forward to spawning season? Yes. Can't wait. So, well, like I've said before, there's a lot playing out in the background at the moment that I'm hoping comes off, and that's going to determine to what extent everything goes down this year. Eric, quick question. You had stated one time, proper filtration. My pond is going to be upgraded to 12 foot by 4 by 4. I'll be using a hockey filter with a pressure filter. What have I missed there, pal? I don't know if that's a typo or a wind up or what. I'll let you go again with that one, and I'll pick it up after if you can. What fish this year for grow-ons are coming? What are you most excited for? There's absolutely all sorts. And I like how you kind of slip that one under, Luke, as well. You've got no hope of getting all that information out of me. The ones you can know of so far, obviously we've got Saito Kohaku. Absolutely, I think I mentioned it before. I did a size check the other day. 30 to 40 centimeters is where we're at. And I'd say 35 is your average. 96 fish in that 1,200 gallon swamp, and it really is a swamp right now. They are flying, so plans are sort of changing on that front. You'll see I've done the Saito Goshki today, 100%. They're going to be good fun. Nice to get a quality batch of them. And what else? I've got my own Saito Ginrin Karashi and Karashi. Once the grow out we've done initially is finished, they're absolutely romping on at the moment. And then absolutely plenty more to come, but you'll get to know of that stuff as and when it's the right time. Nah, I don't think reef salt is the one at all. So I'd stick with the PDV. I'm not 100% sure. Reef salt's normally made up of a lot of different stuff. Unless I'm wrong, no pro in that area without checking. But yeah, you just want plain, pure dried vacuum salt, nothing else in it. Speaking of Karashi, I actually checked this morning, 20 to 24 cm. I would say looking in there's maybe some at the 19 spectrum, so 19 to 24 cm with some beef on them now. They're looking the nuts. Hi Ricky, sat 21 degrees. What would you recommend feeding? Grow first and add colour, or both? Yeah, I'm always one, if you're going down the route of pushing a bit more, a tiny bit, it's the ratio of colour food. Never hurts just to have a bit in. But I'd just ask yourself, and when are you starting your growing season, so to speak? Because otherwise, I'd probably be tempted actually to keep them on balance for a bit longer, and probably April, May time, crank up to that 22, and maybe consider changing it and growth colour mix at that point. Just a small amount of colour probably will do you, and go from there, mate. Just reminded me I need to get the picture of the orange monkey. Philip Martin, hi Ricky. Hi Rick, I have a gravity-fed pond that's been going for 4 months on drum and biochamber, but water is still not clear. Is that because Philip hasn't matured much? Got more than likely. No mention of a UV on there either, but yes, more than likely. Don't know all your flow rates and stuff. Might be worth considering slowing flow down, especially if it's unheated as well. You'd probably turn it turn it right down in that respect and see what happens. And doesn't that just go to show, look, you know, a drum with an immature biofilter can't deliver crystal clear water, and that's correct, because the particles that make up hazy water are much, much smaller and only typically processed by your biological filter. Treating fluke at the minute, would you hit them hard or go with a lighter dose? As I'm unheated, also, would you redose after a longer period, or so I normally go short period in warm water? Yeah, exactly that. So because the kind of the words evading me now, metabolic activity, something like that anyway, generally is a lot slower. So I'm not advocating it right now, because you've got to be aware that if you get it wrong and you've not got heating, you can't get yourself out. So you've got to play on the cautious side. But if you had, a lot of the breeders I know, I've often hit them a lot harder when it's cooler, because the absorption is not as much and the cycle tends to be a bit slower. So you want more of a gap in between it. When it's warmer, you want to shrink that bad boy right down as well. Evening all, Ricky, when selecting coaca, is there any signs to look for that the Benny might fail? Yes, substantial amounts of it. So the first one is looking at your color consistency. There's real basics. You want to make sure you've got the color stronger on the head than on the body. That's normal. If it's ever the other way around, run a mile. Very rare scenario, that one. Then you want to look for sashi. Sashi is really important in understanding this. So you want sashi on that front edge. You don't want it to be too deep, but also you don't want there to be none. But what you'll often find is the kind of appearance of the Benny in it, how hard or soft it looks, and sashi will be closely aligned. So if it's hard color, as in it might, it's very hard because I need to separate the hue from this. Hard color is what we see, and there's basically no pigment left in it. So you've often maybe seen me talk of the red line in the scales where the pigment cells sit. You want some degree of that to know that there's pigment there for future growth, coupled with some sashi. Now, if all of a sudden you've got color that's quite uniform and you've not got that kind of orange with the red in the middle, and it's just a uniform color and there's very little sashi at the front edge, and a small young fish, that's likely to be a concern that there's not a lot of depth there moving forward. Kiwa's a little bit different, because Kiwa is ultimately affected by the available pigment in there. Kiwa can be refined, but you might not have it perfectly refined and all the color spread to the edge instantly, because that's something that can happen over time as well. But it's more about making sure there's elasticity in the color. Now, experience plays a big part through selection on just seeing it. But for me there, it's understanding the look of the Benny, available pigment, and then the sashi, because ultimately sashi is an indicator of color in a deeper layer of skin that obviously everything can stretch and grow. And if there's none there and it's all in the top of the skin, when it grows, it just falls apart. So they're some of the warning signs realistic to look out for. And if you look back on the channel, you'll find no doubt a few videos around Go Sankey where I do point to that, and it'll help you out. I'm sure there's one that's been really popular on selecting Go Sankey on a budget, which probably might be quite a useful watch for you if you've not seen it. God, Luke, you're asking some very invasive questions tonight, pal, aren't you? I'm not 100% sure at the moment. I would say relatively soon, due for a catch up, and got a few business matters to tend to. And there is just one particular farm I want to get to. Been chatting to him today, sort of organising my shipment and seeing what else I could add to it. Not that it's big enough, but yeah, farm I love, and trying to tick a couple more boxes there. So let's see. Why does sinking food pollute the water more? Is it because it goes into the filter? Possibly, yes. So this is what I say about it. It's management, because I've seen the way it moves, even in my big long ponds, the way it can move before the fish get to it into the bottom drain. Then it's quite heavy just to sit there. Hence why I say in ponds where you're potentially using a feeder but not observing throughout the day a lot, it's very, very high risk. So not one I massively recommend. Does Hasegawa Koi Farm continue to operate since the death of the owner? Always loved the quality of the Benny on those koaku and was looking for one. I tell you what, you've touched, but I looked in. I know a fair bit about Hasegawa overall. I've never actually been. One I've never been to. I saw it. I actually used to go because it got a lot of airtime on Pete Waddy's old videos and books, and that's where a lot of the studying came from. But it's never quite had the appeal because kind of through shop days, wholesale days, koaku aren't an easy fish to shift. Seemingly now through the consumer brands I've got, I can't get enough of them. I think maybe more understanding comes, but yes, agreed. It was a phenomenal Benny, not a massive one for size. So I think it's become kind of got left behind a little bit. You know, had his core absolute diehard followers that probably did most of the business, but not one that's been prominent through any of the kind of networks of agents that farm fish out or anything like that in recent years. So, and not one, oh, excuse me, spoke about kind of domestically in Japan. I don't want to say irrelevant. I don't think that's a nice word to use, but I think that's pretty much where it was. And there's a few farms you could say the same about. They're just kind of there doing the thing, got their little bubble, but in the grand scheme of things, you're not seeing them really crop up, compete at koi shows and stuff like that too much, which is why I sort of say irrelevant. Yeah, our crazy results on the Tamasabagro ones really was. What piece on Sunday and one last June, also about 5 more in between. How do you keep on top of so many fish in different ponds when I'm one of many hundreds doing the same thing? Yes, Bill, obviously a lot of it's experience. I'm used to running a koi farm now at scale and having systems and structures. Like I had said, we broke them systems. I mean, for me, luckily, and it is a freakish skill. You know, the majority of things, you can flash me a picture and I'll know where it is. I don't know. I think that's just practice. I think a lot of people from different trades probably have bits like that. So that's there, but that's a problem, obviously, when we're spread amongst a team. And that's where it's kind of at times broke down. So, you know, especially with the consumer brands that we've built, that last year was getting hit and tested too many times when it's not just me at the heart of it. And obviously it can't just be that all the time. Hence why, you know, what we're working on and building now is streamlining that process so much and taking the learnings of the past sort of 18 months and mapping that out and, yeah, basically creating a solution for those issues so the whole team can do that with such ease as well. But it's all about having decent structure. Evening, Ricky, and to all. You've stated to be a big fan of moving bed and the K1. Is this meant general like Oaza Helix and Pompaz, or do you specifically mean K1 because of some reason? Yeah, and it's nothing scientific. None of my philosophy is particularly anything scientific. Just for me, and time will tell. So I've got a pond now running the Oaza drum and Helix in there, so time will tell. But for me, what this stems back to, you know, a philosophy is a core set of beliefs based on the experiences that I've had. When I first saw a pond filtered by a Nexus, hence a K1-based fluid bed, I was genuinely blown away. And this is at a time where the fundamental system was kind of multi-bays. So I saw that and I just saw the environment, the fish behavior, the whole lot, and I went, that's different. That's awesome. And basically got to the point of having my first K1 filtered ponds myself, really saw that play out. So it's just become a core part of it. And obviously over the years, with time spent with conversations with Jasper EA and bits of learning about the K1, how it works, the process, now the K+, and this general part of my philosophy around creation of an ecosystem is where it's got me to believe that and that be a core part of my philosophy. And typically when something is that fundamental to it, I'm not one to fuck with it too much. Why would you, basically? What's the reason to? There isn't. But you know, we've tried it, hence it's down there. We'll see what happens. But that just for me is where it's at. It's nothing scientific. I've now seen clearly the performance of K plus, and more so, I'm also seeing the performance of having the mountain tree media in my showers, the mat, you name it. So at some point, I still don't think it's been quite enough because they had to kick in. They've had time, but I think at some point, you know, some of that new stuff, I will start forming an opinion. But for me, that's got to be based in experience, and there's not been enough experience with it yet. But with K1, there has. It's a fundamental part of my philosophy of having a moving bed with K1. And again, that's not to see it, but I've not necessarily seen all the data with the ability, you know, for having areas within Helix for rotifers to develop and bits like that. And there is a science to it in creating the right ecosystem for it. Even just the last conversation with Jasper about K plus and the outer layer of it and how special that is for the development of potentially even denitrifiers. Epic stuff. And that's why I always have stuck with it. If you could breed any two bloodlines together, what would they be? Yeah, the interesting thing with that question, Carl, is, I mean, it's not obviously, you know, it's not just the bloodlines. It's what's very important is the characteristic of the fish in front of you as well. And it's not just a case of that. I mean, if we look at some cool scenarios, though, because what you in essence, when you analyze the fish in front of you and the bloodline, you're looking for potential flaws that you add something in there to mix it up. Quite a hard one, really. And it's not always, obviously, in the pairings, doesn't just go, it's not a sweet science. I wouldn't put that with that, that's going to create that. And it's awesome, because if the female male fish you didn't use didn't have them characteristics, you're not just guaranteed to get them through. Hence why the two or three fish the set is important. The bloodlines more so to obviously make sure you're not doing any heavy inbreeding or anything like that as well. But I mean, you naturally think. I think the one. I mean, I'm going to say it right there because of the result down there. The one for me is the Sakai Mango, which you basically, when you've got the Karashi cross with Kohaku, I think that's such a fucking sick pairing. I really do, because of what it can do and what it represents. You're talking a Karashi from a serious bloodline to really get the jumbo genetics, but a Kohaku from a serious bloodline, as Sakai did in that creation. And that's what threw off the really unique fish here that Sunnybank Koi owns that I've been raising. That's just absolutely savage. So that for me, and I don't know, possibly because it's not the first time that color profile has been created either, because Ipinya Koi Farm made the Koyo, which is a very similar color. I just don't know the full origins of that, but I guess it would have had to have been something relatively similar. So yeah, off the top of my head, that one right there is not necessarily bloodlines, two varieties, and then you'd want the right bloodlines, like I say, just packing it full of big genetics there. Would a Tempest be useful even though I've run fill? 100%. If you are wanting to get that level of polish on your water, because again, what you've got in mature K plus or K or media, mature media like K1, whatever it is, you've got the ability for the bacteria in there, and it is because of the bacteria. A Tempest that is new versus one that's 6, 12, 18 months old will be a very different thing in what it does, because once the biofilm is there and it's colonizing, you've got the ability there to consume particles down to a micron and at scale. They consume serious times their own mass volume of particles. So yes, 100%, very, very different things there. And this is why I often say, and it's where the concept is, your biological filter is a very important part of your mechanical filtration as well. It's not just breaking down ammonia, it's breaking down a lot of particulate in the water as well. What size moving bed container would I need for 100 litres of media? You would need to watch the video that hopefully someone might point out for you on my channel. That is, oh crikey, when I introduced the filter that I've designed here, I've got all the specs for the stuff, and I think for getting this set, the air diffuser and everything, but if I remember, the ratio's up to a maximum of 60% media to the total volume of the chamber. You maybe work that one back, or feel free to go ahead and watch the video. It's sat there on my channel. I'm sure it's one of the Nishikigoi journal entries, and the filter is likely the thumbnail on it, if I remember correctly. So there we go. And ladies and gents, I've hit the bottom again. And with good timing, man. I can't believe 50 minutes has passed there. So what I'm just about to do is show you what I've got lined up. As we've got our next prize competition. Deadline is tomorrow at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Oh, look at that. That's just fucking rude. Said we've hit the bottom. It's absolutely 4 questions just fired in at once. Anyway, I'm going to show you this now. So solid. Right, let's take that off. There it is. Look, and I tell you what, it looks even better in the flesh than it does on that picture. Ridiculous body line to it. I mean, look at that. The line, the thickness, all the PowerPoint. It's just an absolute dream. Absolute dream. So that one is going prize competition draw. It's a £5 a go. I think we've done 5 entries for 20 quid or 10 for 30 quid, I think. And that's in the WhatsApp group. I'm going to post it again after this. And I haven't put a link in the description right now because I am that useless. So yeah, feel free to make yourself into WhatsApp groups. It'll have a couple of shoves, and I'll tell you what. After the video, I will post it in the description on YouTube as well. Let me write that down. There we go. So yes, dreamy. That, and it is a true. There's no way it's going red. There's not red genetics in there. Go for it. What a chance. There's 1.5 grams worth of fish there that you could potentially win for a £5. So epic. And as much as I'm disappointed that they turned this color from being the yellow that I wanted, I am equally impressed with this color as well. So and it's just all the typical yellow monkey qualities there as well. Right, tell you what, we've got a bit longer. We'll crack on with these ones. I'm feeding sake balance. Is it okay to bulk it out with a little bit of, say, aqua sauce or Medico and Nutrimate? I wouldn't, Johnny, if I were you, mate. Stick with what you're doing. You're just going to lose benefit from it. Keep it with that stuff. Feed it a bit less if you have to, on the basis that the conversion of that stuff's probably generally higher anyway. After watching your video, or I presume the documentary there, I've added an extra 2 Big Blues recycling from my bio, and oh my God, it's amazing, the difference. Yes, quite something, Tony, and it really is, mate. But glad to see that's also working for you as well. Have some koi in my garage with a water temp of 24 degrees, eating 3 times a day, sake akari grow. It's almost spring here, but outside temps keep fluctuating. I need to move to my outside pond. And that's the end of that. I think it might have cut part off, so apologies because I have no question there to answer. Hi, would you know if there's been any progress with treating koi pox or any information relating to it, or any breeders looking at Terry? It's not something that really needs treating, because generally in most instances it's viral that's triggered by stress. That stress is often a drop into cooler water. Now, it's not always necessarily being in cold water. It's the drop and the stress of the drop that can cause it. But likewise, warming up and just firing up the immune response, bit of salt, and away it should go typically. There's only one fish that's defied me of that in all the years, and my God, it was bad. It was really bad. 28 degrees we had that in summer, and it still won't fucking shift. That's the extreme case. Like I say, one in all that time. The harvest, yes, 100%, Andy. Everybody's going to be over the moon with the results on those for sure. So, ladies and gents, I think that's the end of that one. I'm not sure I've got out else though. I said I'd share with you. Let me just have a quick look. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Last one. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night on my Ricky Stoddart Nishikigoi WhatsApp group. If you're not on it, the link is in the description. I know it is. Is the very, very last release of Sakai Nisai that I will have at, let's say, sensible prices. Our sensible for Sakai, where I actually take a gamble on the start bids and hope for the best. The 10 I've stashed up, there's not a chance that's ever happening there. They're serious things. So, yeah, I've got the 8 fish here to share with you, and then there's no more after that, unless you are feeling particularly fruity and want to try and grab one out of my stash. So let's have a look at these. Very happy with the results again, though, I really am. And I think we have an assortment in here as well. Let's have a look. Just no Kohaku. I was light on them anyway, but what I've got there is 4 Sankis and 4 Scorpion Line Showers. Looking fantastic. Some real potential sat in them. It is a decent split of male and female. In fact, I think primarily female fish in there as well. There is a couple of males. But looking savage. Size-wise, around 45 to 50 cm, I think, on the high end. That big Kindai shower there. That Kindai actually broke my heart a little bit, because that was there to be one of my top pieces. And just as I look, honestly, it's such a small thing, but I can't let it slide. There is the tiniest imperfection in its scale line just around the lateral on the Shiroji as well. I swear to God, without me pointing it out, nobody would ever see it. But I saw it. I can't process. Obviously, it's not worth me at that point spending the time growing it out. So as a result, you've took a fish there that was going to be of a considerable value to me, and you'll get a chance at a £500 start bid is where it's at. It devastates me to say it, but yeah, great spread. All got their individual certificates as well, which I'm going to dig out ahead of the auction when I'm photographing tomorrow. So I actually know the parent sets on the Sankey, because I do know as well, I think one of them was from Miss Barcelona too, which is, yeah, I mean, Miss Barcelona is one of the super prominent lines for Sankey at the farm. So great fish, last chance. Link is down below. Ricky Stoddart Nishikigoi WhatsApp group. You need to be in there. It's going to be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, and I will be live streaming for that as well. The auction will take place on the WhatsApp group, and I'll be on here at the same time. So there we have it, ladies and gents. I'm going to get myself off now, because I've got to get home still and just turn everything off here. Leave a couple of those pipes set that I need ponds to get filled up. And other than that, I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. And like I said, I'll be back next week. I'm going to be back tomorrow night, but I'll be back for question time next week anyway. And I hope to catch you all then.